session for the first time. But this is a topic very close to my heart, and I have been, since I am from tourism, my area of specialization is tourism and travel management, and I'm a very keen traveler also. And my experiences have always told me that cultural entrepreneurship, that is my topic for today, is on the rise. And the same things I'm going to share with you over here today. So please allow me to share my presentation. Can you all see it? The first slide on cultural entrepreneurship.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam, we can.
So I have this full screen in front of me now. So if there is any problem in between while I'm talking to you, just prompt me through voice. So this is my topic for today, cultural entrepreneurship. Now, you must have had so many introductions to entrepreneurship in this short-term course. I'll also take the liberty to introduce it once more. Entrepreneurship is the process of turning ideas into ventures that create value for people. It is about discovering opportunities, taking risks, and building something new. Now, I am not going by the established definitions, but what I have gathered into all these years is that this is actually what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is certainly very innovative. You have an idea into your mind, it passes through your mind. You want to turn it into reality, and you also want to earn through it. Not just earn for yourself, but employ others and contribute something to the society. So the education which a person gains, the innovation which he or she has within himself or herself, the creativity which a person has within himself or herself gives them ideas. And ideas, when they turn into ventures, become histories. We have so many examples all around the world. But a very good thing that we are noting today is that cultural entrepreneurship is on the rise. The aim is not only profit, but innovation, problem solving, and social impact. The word entrepreneur was first used by Richard Cantillon, who described entrepreneurs as risk bearers earning from profits rather than wages. So instead of being an employee, some people wish to work on their own. They want to do something different. They are willing to take risks, because when you are into business area, when you procure capital from somewhere, you arrange capital, you invest your savings, and then start a venture, and then you have to give it your 100, 200, even 500% to make it a successful venture. And then when it starts giving back to you, to your employees, to your company, and of course to the society, that is the time when an eventful, an event has occurred, and somewhere in the history it will be noted down. Walt Disney, of course, we'll see how they turn stories into reality. The great entrepreneurs in history, visionaries like Henry Ford, Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, and Bill Gates have changed the way we live and we work. They have shown that big ideas can become businesses that create jobs, wealth, and opportunities. True that. We all know that the various governments across the world work relentlessly to bring jobs and food to the table of its people. But if for 2 minutes we think about and minus the great nation builders, that is the entrepreneurs and the businessmen in the country, and delete their contributions into nation building in the form of job generations, employment generations, imagine where the world would be. And I'm sure that you can immediately connect to it. If, for example, if we minus Tatas, Birlas, Ambanis from India, if we minus Azim Premji from India, where would we really be? So this is the importance of entrepreneurship. It's not just true, they gain a lot of money, but so many people get employment. They take back home salaries, their home runs, their children get educated. So it has a ripple effect on society. And as society progressed, the meaning of entrepreneurship also evolved beyond profits. And today, this evolution has led to cultural entrepreneurship, that is, using business to preserve and promote art, creativity, and cultural heritage. There are so many businesses, when you will look around in your own ecosystem, you will feel that this is a cultural entrepreneurship. What is it? What is cultural entrepreneurship? It is about using business skills to support and promote culture. It combines creativity with entrepreneurship to turn ideas in art, music, theater, film, food, literature, and traditions into products and services that create both economic and social value. We are a country which is very rich in culture and heritage. We have our ancient texts, we have our costumes, we have our folk tales, we have our food wisdom, we have our culinary delights, we have our dances, classical dances, folk dances, classical music, folk music, we have our theater, Natya Shastra, to coming down to modern theater. We have so many theater companies, film companies that have been that are doing great business in this area. There are so many brands like Fab India, like Zook, like there are so many food entrepreneurs that have come up that are preserving the culinary traditions of India. So it is not just a profit venture, a money making venture, or not just giving employment to people, but they're also preserving our heritage. And it is just like serving old wine in new bottles. So whatever culture was there, followed in the yesteryears, in the erstwhile years, they're trying to bring it back in the form of tourist services, let us say, theater services, art services, and people want to experience it again and again to know what was our, erstwhile era like. So keeping the values, the culture, the heritage intact. So this is beyond profit. Our forefathers have passed down beliefs and values to give us belonging and guidance. This certainly belongs to us, our culture, our texts, our food, our costumes, our way of life, our festivals. Everything belongs to us, and we cannot let it go, let it just pass by. And today is the era when people from one country want to discover another country, their traditions, their culture, their way of life to the greatest possible extent. The people today, their interest has shifted from learning tits and bits about everything to going into focused learning and going into immersion learning, as it is called. So when it comes to immersion, the culture plays a very important role. When somebody comes to India and they want to experience what India was and where has it come to, so everything has to be available. So modern lifestyles and instant gratification have weakened our ties to culture, and hence this idea is selling today, cultural entrepreneurship. All of us living in cities, in metropolitans, we have become so mechanized. Our life has become mechanized that we have completely derooted ourselves from what we used to be, from what our mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers used to be. Whatever we wear today is based on comfort. Whatever we eat today is based on availability. Whatever whatever our lifestyle is because of the existing conditions around us. But we do, all of us in this age, remember our childhood. what we used to do in those times, how the festivals used to be in those times, what were the clothes that we used to wear in those times. Now we have shifted to a fusion style or a Western style. Those fabrics, those prints are hardly available now. But yes, there are so many cultural, entrepreneurship ventures which have preserved this culture, which we'll discover in the later slides. So this modern lifestyle, though it has taken us by the bait, we are totally entangled in it, but at the same time, it has, lit a light inside us that we wish to do what we used to do. And that is where cultural entrepreneurs get the success, because the cultural entrepreneurship helps preserve and promote heritage through art, music, theater, film, food, literature, and traditions. These entrepreneurs, they connect creativity with business, keeping heritage alive. So it's a mixture of creativity, business, heritage, and making it meaningful for today's and future generations. Who are cultural entrepreneurs? What do they do? So culture is our identity. Culture is something we belong to, and entrepreneurship brings ideas into reality. So together they create growth in both society and the economy. So culture and entrepreneurship creates growth in society and in economy both. That is its USP. Cultural entrepreneurs are the people who use their creativity and business skills to keep culture alive, relevant, and valuable. And how do they do it? What do they do? They create platforms to celebrate art, celebrate music, celebrate food, celebrate traditions or heritage. There are so many, we have heard of so many event management companies. They keep on organizing events based on, let us say, food festivals, dance festivals, carnivals, where they showcase different cultures. Let's talk about this, trade fair that goes on in the Pragati Maidan at New Delhi, which is very popular. Let us say the Suranjkud Crafts Mela. All these events, organized by the government and the private agencies, what do they showcase? You get vintage furniture, you get vintage utensils, you get vintage decor, you get vintage carpets, vintage fabrics, vintage bags and purses, anything that was used in the yesteryears, apart from other things also. And people are crazy after it. Today is an era where anything vintage goes in lakhs and crores. You can go over YouTube and you can go and see that how many home decor channels are going on, how many food channels are going on, and all home decors today, all the interior designers today, are using vintage materials, vintage objects to decorate modern homes. And we have so many dealers, art dealers, furniture dealers, that they're doing business over here, and they come very, very expensive. Supposing a leftover glass mirror, wall mirror from an ancient haveli, let us say a dining table from some kind of an ancient palace, or a big home. They have that intricate designs and all, which cannot be done today, which are not found today. They're very, very rare. So getting them, renovating them, and then using it in your home is a status symbol today. So this is what I'm trying to tell, that the tastes of people is shifting. Now is the era when, again, when we move into our circles, we see that people are using the utensils of our dadis and nannies and our grandmothers as decor items. We cannot use them, but still we see that they want to flaunt it. They want to boast of it. So it inspires people to see culture not just as history, but as something that shapes the future. And they also challenge old ways of thinking and show new possibilities, how old items can be renovated to fit the usage of today. Examples are artists, designers, innovators, change makers who blend creativity with business. Another example that comes to my mind is that, for example, I'm talking about this home decor channels that you can find on YouTube and see. They make you visit so many homes, and they tell you about the theme of the decor and the various items. How have they been have they been procured, or some old furniture of the house has been renovated to suit the new requirements. So this is also happening a lot, that old vintage furniture items have been renovated into modern day usage. This is a slide which tells you about various items that are part of our culture. Now, coming to the key perspectives of cultural entrepreneurship. Of course, it is rooted in our local traditions and values, and the entrepreneurs have to have a deep understanding of the culture and their community before coming out with new products in the market. And it thrives on innovation and creativity. You see something and you know what to make out of it. It's not just the best out of the waste concept. It is like making bestest out of the best. It blends traditional practices with modern ideas and technology. It makes a real economic impact by generating jobs, income, and attracting tourism. Now, I want to share another example over here that I will share a personal example which I always quote everywhere, and it is my personal favorite, so I will share it with you also. Uh, I love going to Kashmir, all of us do. Kashmir is not just about mountains, rivers, and the natural beauty. All of us know about it. Kashmir has a very distinct culture. And chai, the noon chai over there, is one daily habit of people. So, how do you have an authentic cup of tea in Srinagar? You can go to your friends' homes, your family friends' homes, or somebody has invited you. They'll serve you tea in the most authentic way. They'll make you sit on the floor, on the carpet, and they will spread out a tehzeeb or a dastarkhan, and then they will lay out the tea before you in the finest of decorated tea sets, and that will be the namak wali chai, the noon chai which they eat, which is black, right? And there are some accompaniments like sheermal, their biscuits, etc. Their bakar khanis which they will serve. Now, supposing somebody does not have that kind of a contact in Kashmir and they want to experience something very genuinely Kashmiri. So there is, an outlet over there, a tea cafe, a tea room as they call it, which is by the name of Chai Jai. Now, what is Chai Jai? It is a very unique place, just on the band of River Jhelum. You can, if you're sitting in one of the tables in this tea room, in this tea cafe, what you get to see is River Jhelum from the windows. Now, what happens is you get to experience local culinary culture as well as global tea traditions over there. So, their service style will be entirely Kashmiri. You can have a typical Kashmiri tea, or you can have your own English tea, or whatever tea preferences that you have, depending on their menu. So it is a spectacular view of the historical Band of River Jhelum. And Chai Jai has the perfect setting for an engagement with Kashmir in an uplifting manner. So when you sit there, you feel you are experiencing the real Kashmir, because you're going to drink Kashmiri tea in the best of the crockery, with the best of the cutlery, and the best of the baked items that are very popular in Kashmir. And the noon chai, as I told you, is a fabled one. It is very, very popular, and Kashmiris cannot do without it. So when you have the sip of that fabled noon chai, which is served in hand painted teaware, and you have a nibble, a bite of the artisanal breads that they bake. I told you about the shirmans, the bakar khanis, and the various biscuits that they bake. It is a soul-stirring experience. You really feel on top of the world, and you feel that it's not just a shikara ride, or it's just not having a night in the houseboat, or having a drive at the boulevard of the Dal Lake. But when you drink this tea, you feel that the Kashmir experience is complete now. That is the beauty of that place. And I'm sharing it with you that I have seen that it is always flooded with people, with foreigners, with visitors, with tourists from all over. And they always come there for, Kashmir, this is it. So just by serving their noon chai, which they have every day in a perfect setting, in perfect, setting and with the perfect style of service, they have done something which is a perfect example of cultural entrepreneurship. And the best part of it is that why I quote this example everywhere is that because it is being run by a lady, and this was her idea. So this is a perfect example of cultural entrepreneurship. And I once talked to her, and I was talking to her, and she said that this is an inspiration from the Cotswold tea rooms. So she borrowed that concept and brought it in Kashmir, and she is, a very often talked about, and interviewed entrepreneur now. Uh, and you can say that it is one of the most perfect experiences that I as a tourist has ever had. So you can go to many tea rooms, you can go to have tea in barista, you can go to have tea in various other cafes, you can have coffee in Cafe Coffee Day. Okay, you feel good. But when you have something very local, something of our own in a perfect setting, in an uplifting manner, that experience cannot be even rated. It is beyond ratings because it is beyond profits, it is beyond ideas, it is something beyond even. So that is the effect of cultural entrepreneurship. And of course it has an economic impact too. People work there, people are doing different varieties of work, they're getting employment, and tourists are also getting very happy. And success often comes from collaboration where entrepreneurs partner with artists, artisans, communities, and government. Now, there is another brand that I would like to quote over here is the SEVA, the Self-Employed Women's Association that works on Lucknowi chicken curry. Their products are expensive, but the major idea behind this was that the actual chicken curry laborers, those who do the sewing, those who do the needlework, they do not get enough money by the people who are the retailers or who are the middlemen in this field. They are, these workers live in different villages of Lucknow, our region. And to keep that art alive, it was important that these workers continue to engage in this art. Otherwise, it could have vanished. So what they have done is that they have formed an association and they employ the workers and give them work and pay them very well so that they remain interested in this art. Otherwise, so many art forms have died for want of patronization. So not just the government, but the people in, by forming associations and turning, getting business ideas into it can, really uplift the cultural entrepreneurship and preserve the culture and not let it die just like that, because the people at the bottom who are actually doing the work are paid very less. So they have to be paid well so that the art does not die off and they continue the tradition. Another example of Lucknowi chicken curry would be the Kotwara house products, which the Raja of Kotwara, we have heard of Muzaffar Ali and Rani Meera Ali. They have this brand, and their brand items sell in thousands and lakhs. And they have, because they come from Kotwara, which is a village in Lucknow, that was their, landlordship over there. So they have employed the women of Kotwara into doing this work, and they have given them employment. And because they were very poor and not getting enough money, so they formed this brand. This is another example of cultural entrepreneurship. So it's not just about money, it adds social and cultural value because it preserves the heritage, promotes diversity, and it empowers people even at the grassroots level. The examples could be many more fashion brands that work with artisans to design modern clothes from traditional crafts. And this is how they keep the culture alive while creating sustainable livelihoods. Now, why is it important? Why is cultural entrepreneurship important? Because it brings innovation and diversity by combining creativity with business, and it introduces fresh ideas and cultural products. It supports the arts sector. It helps the artists, have greater accessibility to wider audiences. And at the same time, they can earn a living keeping culture alive. So it's no longer that in erstwhile era when we used to say, okay, if somebody is a poet, he's going to be penniless. If somebody is a painter, he or she is going to be penniless. Now there are forums where they can come and display their art and get paid for it and get handsomely paid for it. There are companies, there are cultural entrepreneurs who are showcasing their products on a regular basis. It is a business, a running business, and you can get running income out of it. And that is how it strengthens community. So when you start getting money from whatever your art is or whatever your creativity is, only then it is going to be alive. Because either a person has to be very rich enough to follow a passion, to be a cultural entrepreneur, or to be an artist in any form. But if there is lack of money and you need to earn money to live, then the art forms die out. So that is why cultural entrepreneurship is not just about profits. It is much more than that. It is preserving culture, preserving heritage, helping artists and artisans. That is the main point behind it. The role of cultural and creative industry in a country's economy. Um, CCIs, that is cultural and creative industries, they boost the economy by turning cultural products and services into revenue. They become money-making ventures, and they also support then international trade and drive innovation. So many craftspeople, craftsmen, and artists and other technicians work in this industry, in cultural and creative industry. So the sector is entrepreneurial. It is constantly creating new jobs, especially with the growth of digital platforms and new content. Now there are so many places where you can sell your products. It's not just that you need a big showroom to start selling your product. You can sell it online. There are so many online shopping opportunities today. There are so many. We know about Amazon, we know about Flipkart, we know about Shopsy, we know there's so many endless apps that are selling different varieties of products. It is not so difficult to sell good products today. Cities and countries that have cultural resources, that have ample cultural resources, they attract tourism and this kind of business. For example, the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain, transformed an industrial town into a cultural hub known as the Bilbao Fete. Now, this is we're talking about Spain. Let's take our own Rajasthan. Rajasthan people not just go to visit forts and palaces. They go there to get the gems and jewelry. They go there to get Rajasthani dresses. They go there to get Rajasthani linen, their cotton, their pagru prints and whatnot. You're getting entire household ranges over there. Anything that you want, any utility item is available over there. So that is also a good example to quote over here. And all of it is indigenous art and craft. That if you go to Rajasthan, we are not going to buy, a branded jacket. Of course, we are going to buy something which is very local. We are going to buy their half Rajasthani jacket, which is very popular. We are going to buy a bandhni sari, or a menfolk may buy, an achkan, or, a turban, or a ring, which is of a precious gem and stone, or something like that. Now, cultural products are being shared globally, like music, art, foods, and festivals. And this is how the cultural products of a country find audience abroad, and they get interested in us. And they shape its image and influence people's choices and tastes nationally and internationally, both. Now, coming to the case studies of the global cultural and creative economies. South Korea is a perfect example. We need to know about South Korea, that how they became a cultural superpower from a crisis. South Korea has become today a global cultural powerhouse. It is famous for K-pop, K-drama, K-beauty, Korean food, and even dalgona coffee. All of us know about dalgona coffee. And this success has not come overnight or by chance, but it is a result of government planning. They had a financial crisis in the 1990s, and the government launched Cool Korea to grow culture as an industry, because that was the only thing that they were left with. And see how they become a superpower. President Kim Dae-jung started the Hallyu Industry Support Plan. This was their support plan. The goal was to make Korean culture a US $290 billion industry in 2 years. And what were the key steps that they took? They increased budget for cultural industries. They built public-private partnerships, that is the government and the private companies. And this gave birth to the Hallyu wave, the K culture wave. All of us have heard about Korean food and the K dramas that are very popular with Gen Z today. They had this creative economy action plan in 2013, which was introduced by Park Geun-hye's government, aiming at creating jobs, aiming at making Korea a global leader in creative economy, and supporting young talents and cultural entrepreneurs. And now what were the actions that they took? 24 programs were started. That was startup support, crowdfunding, and angel investors. Crowdfunding, we know about that you get funds from the public by starting a campaign. Startup support was given by the government, and angel investors, like investors when you send business plans to different business houses inside and outside the country, and then you have people interested in them. Then the protection of ideas was done, because in cultural entrepreneurship, the idea is most important. If idea turns into success, then it brings a lot of money. So protection of ideas with national patent strategy. You file a patent of your idea and then you work on it. Nobody else is going to borrow that. Even if they work on that, they have to borrow your name. Stronger teamwork between SMEs, big companies, and local governments. And they set aside $3 billion US fund for cultural startups. The Ministry of Science and ICT in Korea in 2017 brought a new plan with 4 main focus. They cut unnecessary rules and they brought more private companies. They helped the creative ideas reach the market with financing and startups. They focused on education. STEAM, design thinking, problem solving in schools was taught to the children. See what a focused plan it is. And what a great mind, and they were able to implement it. And then they opened creative economy innovation centers across the area. So the whole public must have got involved into this creative economy, which was just floating all around. I think each citizen would have got involved in it. And they encouraged teamwork between science, culture, and art. The role of the government is the most positive over here. Then how the Hallyu wave became a global success. K-pop. This was a new global music style. And they added 3.6 billion US dollars to Korea's economy. Korean pop started. Music is something which sells very fast. Online, internet, the internet revolution, brings revolution into other industries also. Then cinema. The first Parasite in 2019 was the first non-English Oscar winner. They started going into creative fields and not just getting recognition, but getting money also. So when cinema gets an Oscar, it's Korean, it's watched well over, of course, the industry benefits. Then the Squid Game in 2021, it broke Netflix records. Netflix invested $500 million in K-dramas. So when Netflix was won over, the investors came from all around the world to invest into K-dramas, and that is how again they gained money. Then the Korean beauty products are so popular nowadays, and they are very effective, very effective. This industry is worth 10.2 billion US dollars, and it is very popular with Gen Z. The Korean food, the kimchi diplomacy promotes dishes like kimchi and bibimbap worldwide. Korean food is becoming popular. Kimchi is very common. Instead of our own pickles, people are also eating kimchi with food, because nowadays people are avoiding, breads, rotis, rice, etc., and they are having other millets and all. So this is a good accompaniment with. So they also are exercising wisdom in food entrepreneurship. And all this is supported by Korean Food Promotion Institute with food festivals and chef training. And by 2014, Hallyu exports already crossed $5 billion. And that's how, they were able to arrest their financial crisis by using their culture as their superpower. Now come to Thailand, the global Thai and gastro diplomacy. Thailand uses food as soft power, and it launched the Global Thai campaign to promote Thai cuisine worldwide. We all know about Thai curries and Thai foods that are very popular in India also. Many of the star category hotels will have theme restaurants, and many a times you will see that they are Thai in theme. The key steps taken in this field were the chef training. They prepared Thai chefs to open restaurants abroad from budget to fine dining. So first they train their chef and they send them abroad with a startup capital, and they must have had angel investors, etc. And they started doing it in foreign countries. That they must have had a contract with the chef and the restaurants that some money of it will come to the country. See how they did it. What a great idea. Then it was financial support like loans and investments for food entrepreneurs. The SME development gave loans up to $3 million, boosting agriculture and exports. Special budget to export ingredients like galangal root and fish sauce. This increased sales of local products, and they encouraged R&D innovation in farming and cooking. So they use their brains. Whatever you have to maximize upon that. Instead of wrong investments in wrong industries in the wrong direction and losing out the public and the government money, they immediately got to the tables and jot down a plan with whatever they had, and they could not lose their culture, but they learned how to make money out of their culture. What they eat, how they dress up, what their dramas are, what their films are, what their music is, the way they farm, the way they cook, not just within Korea, but they sent it outside also. In Thailand, the same thing happened. There was a very strong campaign of nation branding under motto Kitchen of the World. And it got aggressive advertising in global marketing. The result was 20,000 plus Thai restaurants worldwide. So they made it a wave, the Thai food, Thai culture, Thai this thing. And, when people get something new, they want to eat it. So in Delhi, if there is a Thai restaurant, people will go there, right? Because we've had Punjabi, we've had Mughlai, we've had Mediterranean, we've had Chinese. Now it was time for Korean, and it was time for Thai. It was a very successful gastro diplomacy model, and it shows strong government plus private sector cooperation. An example from other countries like India, it is an example for other countries like our own to build their creative economy. Now, what were the key takeaways from South Korea and Thailand? Policies like Hallyu Industry Support Plan and Creative Economy Action Plan encouraged young entrepreneurs in music, films, gaming, design, and media. Because the generation of today, their mind runs very deeply into these areas. And if they're able to work in this area and, gain profit and recognition, they would really do it. And if the government supports it, if the policies are very encouraging, they are going to make it a success in very less span of time. Government provided funds, training, intellectual property protection, like filing patents and all of ideas, and innovation hubs. This led the way for cultural startups. The K-pop agencies, the K-drama producers, the gaming companies, they grew. And these entrepreneurs turned their culture into products like K-pop concerts, K-dramas, K-cosmetics, and K-design technologies. And they sold them globally and arrested their financial crisis. The Global Thai that helped chefs become entrepreneurs abroad by giving loans, training, and branding support. The Thai and entrepreneurs were able to open 20,000 plus restaurants worldwide that created business and cultural influence both. It was not just the Thai food that was selling, but it was Thailand reaching the homes of the country in which they had opened their restaurants. Then export of Thai ingredients supported farmers, food producers, and culinary innovators, expanding the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now we are into an era when we have, when it's not just Big Boss, but we have, programs like Master Chef and whatnot. So today is the time when even our food plate has to be innovative. If we can combine three ingredients from three different countries to an Indian dish to give it a new color, flavor, texture, and taste, it's going to be appreciated. So this is what their government understood and did. Lessons for India from these global examples: that power of a plan. And great success, great cultural success does not happen by accident. It comes with clear vision and strong policies. So we need to have a clear roadmap of cultural ideas that can turn into billion-dollar industries and, of course, global brands. Teamwork has to be inculcated when governments, private businesses, and local entrepreneurs work together. The culture grows faster. A public-private partnership model helps artists and entrepreneurs get the support they need. And money matters. Behind every global cultural wave is serious investment. And this is what these governments did. By taking Thai restaurants abroad and by selling K culture abroad, bringing in angel investors, crowdfunding, giving startup capitals to the young entrepreneurs. And easy access to finance and infrastructure is what turns talent into thriving industries. We need to follow suit. Then branding the nation. It's just not, arresting a financial crisis or selling your culture abroad, realizing the potential of your culture and selling it abroad, but it is also branding the nation. You are making your nation a household story. Cuisine, music, films, fashion, all these things turn, products into powerful nation brands. And with smart marketing, even everyday culture can become a country's soft power and attract global audiences. I just gave you the example of chai chai, where a simple noon chai, which a Kashmiri household, drinks every day, has every day with their bakr khanis and shirmals, has become a cultural entrepreneurship venture. So education for creativity, from chefs to designers, training and education make cultural entrepreneurs world ready. Creative schools, skills programs, and international exposure help young talent shine. And blending tradition with innovation. The magic lies here. When heritage is presented in a modern way. Streaming platforms, e-commerce, and global festivals. This makes the traditional culture exciting and accessible to new generations worldwide. Now, I'll just give you a very small example over here. One goes to these state emporiums in Delhi. Let us say I go to Rajasthan Emporium in Delhi, and I want to buy a sling bag. Now, what do I get? A sling bag in perfect traditional Rajasthani fabric, stitched in a traditional way, but it perfectly fits my utility, and I hang it around my shoulder and it looks so different. So this is blending tradition with innovation. Culture is diplomacy, like food, films, music, and fashion can be stronger ambassadors than speeches. Yes, if I'm giving you these lectures right now, you may be listening to me, but if I show you these things, actually, you go to Rajasthan Emporium and see. you see a good movie, you hear good music, then you will be influenced by culture. For example, the Coke Studio, which we all listen to when we see, the Ustad Mame Khan singing the famous song Chaudhary on Coke Studio. When we see Malini Avasthi singing Saiya Bane, Saiya Mile Ladkaiyan on the national forums. This is how we get to know these are the songs of Awadh, these are the songs of Rajasthan. How do we get to know it? Through these. When I watch Umrao Jan and hear the famous Vidai song sung over there by Begum Akhtar, the great singer, when she says Kahe ko byahi vides, that is how it affects me. That is what tells me what of the language is, and how a girl feels when she's being sent off to another home after marriage. It comes to me through this music. So this is how it builds bridges. Now, coming to India's cultural and creative economy. India's cultural and creative economy includes festivals, handicrafts, textiles, and advertising. We are a creative powerhouse, no doubt. Every state in India is a creative powerhouse, whether it is handicrafts, whether it is music, whether it is costume, whether it is folk culture, whether it is cuisine. Every state in India is a powerhouse that we are exporting perfumes, we are exporting textiles, we are exporting spices. There are so many examples from all over India. Our Ayurveda, our yoga, our epics, they have influenced cultures worldwide. Our turmeric, healthy, and ghee are now sold in US wellness brands. Now, what is the current status? India exports many cultural goods, but earns less economic and diplomatic influence than it could. We have not, studied the policies of Thailand and Korea. Creative exports did grow, but not much. India is the fifth largest exporter of handicrafts, but its global share is still small. Gems and jewelry exports are of $25 billion. Textile exports $28 billion. But we are so extremely rich in gems and jewelry and textiles. India makes 90% of the world's hand-woven textiles. See, but when it comes to the being the topmost in the textile handicrafts, we do not top the world charts. That is why because we lack global fashion houses. Most products are sold without an Indian brand identity. We are still supplying raw materials for the designers. What are the missed opportunities? The haldi doodh that we drink. If somebody gets hurt or somebody is sick, we give them haldi doodh. Now the world calls it turmeric latte. But have we showcased? Have we promoted? Have we advertised our turmeric latte? The ordinary haldi doodh that we drink is turmeric latte. And yoga became global trends, but India has not fully cashed in. The global Ayurveda market was $4.62 billion in 2017, but India's share was only 402 million US dollars. We are staying often at the low end of the value chain. We are just exporting raw materials or cheap labor instead of branded products. So if entrepreneurs come to the forefront, they understand this logistic, this blockchain which has broken in between. They are going to connect the missing links and establish houses and brands that will use our own raw material and our own branded product and will sell it to the world. Now, the tourism potential of India. India got 17.4 million tourists in 2019, while France got 90 million tourists in the same year. In spite of the fact that India has much more to offer than France, still we lack infrastructurally and we have not marketed ourselves very well. The key reason, of course, as I told you, is France's strong infrastructure. The Louvre, the museum, attracted 9.6 million visitors in 2019. Indian museums are in abundance, almost in every city that you can think of. And they are showcasing history, science, and art, but lack modern facilities. Heritage sites like Ramappa Temple, which is a UNESCO site, they remain poorly connected and underdeveloped. We need to have much better facilities, much better digital platforms, and much better publicity that are going to boost Destination India and create jobs in local economies. The positive signs are that in 2021, cultural startups rose in health, wellness and beauty, F&B, that is food and beverages, fashion and home decor received US dollar 1.7 billion investments. The bigger corporates are also launching products inspired by Indian culture now. Importantly, investments are reaching tier 2 cities now like Jaipur, Ahmedabad, not just the metros. What is the proposed roadmap for cultural and creative industries? There are some medium-term measures like officially recognizing cultural entrepreneurship, what Korea and Thailand did. And we need to formally define and recognize cultural enterprises, that they are profitable businesses rooted in heritage, traditions, and creativity. I've talked to you about the Kotwara House, I talked to you about the Seva, etc. Once recognized, cultural startups should get the same benefits as other startups. So they should get tax breaks, they should get easier patenting, they should get equity funding, and they should get faster exit mechanisms also. Interministerial cooperation is another thing which is required over here. Because cultural entrepreneurship connects many sectors like tourism, textiles, Ayurveda, arts, etc. So the ministries have to show interministerial cooperation to facilitate entrepreneurship. There should be a committee on cultural and creative economy, should be set up under the department with members from ministries, Niti Aayog, ICCR, FICCI, NGOs, and other industry leaders. And this committee would create a vision and action plan for CCIs. They could allocate budgets and monitor performance of states. Is every state doing enough with the kind of potential they have? Are they, bringing in products and services which could earn, contribute to the economy? Rank based states based on progress and reward high performers. For example, Tamil Nadu or Kerala have often been rewarded as the best tourist states by the ministry. So similar recognition programs can come forward from other industries also. States should also all form task forces for local implementation to see if there are last minute hiccups or anything that can be done to facilitate and expedite the process of entrepreneurship. And there could be cultural summits and expos that can be organized to connect entrepreneurs, investors, diplomats, and businesses. We have so many trade expos, automobile expos, trade fairs, business exhibitions, where culture can form a small part. But it is time to bring forward a whole cultural summit and expo by itself, where cultural entrepreneurship can be showcased. Then market research and insights are very important. There should be a dedicated research wing under agencies like Invest India and IBF that can track market size, trends, investment patterns, and opportunities. And these insights would help in guiding entrepreneurs and investors as to where to, how to plan their entrepreneurial venture. The example is the Global Ayush Investment and Innovation Summit held in 2022 that showed how focused events can boost awareness, policy discussions, and investments. How to increase investment opportunities. For the investors, you have to give tax breaks, preferential treatment, and allow cultural enterprises to be listed on stock exchanges. For cultural startups, there should be easier access to credit and funding. The legal and tax rules have to be simplified so that raising funds becomes easier. Then encouraging of innovative models like the low profit limited liability company that mix business with social impact. So, these parameters can be defined along which the business models prepared, the cultural business models prepared on these lines can be given greater patronization. And public-private joint investment platforms have to be built specially for CCIs. How to use CCIs for soft power and diplomacy. These cultural industries strengthens India's global image and people-to-people ties. The key steps that should include visa relaxations for Indian chefs, yoga trainers, and cultural professionals. Example, the India-Australia trade deal allowing 4 year stays. Then partnerships with global research groups to understand markets abroad. That is also very important. So, research wing is formed in India. They should be working in collaboration with those countries based on the product which they are planning. So if a startup, a startup submits a proposal, then the research wing should work on it and conduct a feasibility analysis, which consists of market, economic, social, political, financial, all kinds of analysis. And then they should be allowed to, they should be given that grant and given all the patronization to take forward their idea and turn it into a business venture. So a stronger global promotion of Indian origin products like Ayurveda, yoga, and crafts, and greater participation of Indian cultural entrepreneurs in international summits as brand ambassadors of India's heritage and business potential. Now, the long term measures. How can the small businesses be helped to grow into brands? Many of the cultural products are sold locally, but not beyond that. They lack strong branding. And for to grow these small businesses, they need better packaging, clear brand identity, quality standards, and wider market reach. And this remains locally, these products and these entrepreneurs remain locally active and are not able to go forward for want of these things. The One District, One Product ODOP scheme highlights 106 unique products in textiles, handicrafts, and agriculture items from each district. That they also support loans, seed funding, marketing help, and branding. There are government agencies to give, and other NGOs and associations have come forward which can give, support in funding, in marketing, and branding of the products to these companies or to these low scale entrepreneurs whose business ideas are very good, but they lack this kind of financial support. So products must also be digitally on platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, GEM, and ONDC. And similar help should be given under schemes like the National Handloom Development Program. Their market condition connections have to be improved. The small cultural business entrepreneurs, they struggle with supply chains, transport, and access to markets. One such example, a very great example, would be from the northeastern states, which are full of culture in every way, and they're full of natural beauty, but are grossly inaccessible for this part of India. So we know that Arunachal Pradesh produces the kiwis in India, the most kiwis in India, but we get to eat the imported kiwis in all the shopping centers and these malls, etc. Because New Zealand chili sell more because of, and these people are not able to sell because they don't have a proper supply chain management and logistics management, and their products get bad when by the time they come to other parts of India. And these people have very strong linkage and supply chain management systems, and they're coming from New Zealand and Australia, and still we are eating them, and they are in good condition. So better logistics, cold storage, and packaging infrastructure can solve such issues and bring local products to bring the markets. Then protecting the intellectual property. I just talked to you about Korea giving that to their entrepreneurs. And we know that creativity spreads fast, cultural creativity, and with the onset of digital platforms, of course, but theft and copying are very common. This should be curtailed. Artists, designers, and entrepreneurs, they have to protect their intellectual property through copyrights, trademarks, and certifications. Geographical indications to preserve authenticity. Example are Banarsi saris and the Darjeeling tea. India has success stories to boast of. They have created a traditional knowledge digital library and challenged US patents like turmeric and won. We have to create enabling state-level ecosystems. A state-level cultural entrepreneurship body like the proposed CCCE should work with the Central Committee to plan and execute strategies. Think tanks and researchers can guide states on developing cultural industries. Competition among states can encourage better results if we start an award campaign, or something, the recognition is given to them, then these entrepreneurs will definitely work to achieve that recognition. Then we have to train the policymakers to understand global market demand for made in India branded cultural products. And the states have also to focus on education and training. Institutes like IIMs, NIFTs, and IHMs should be included in cultural entrepreneurship. They should include cultural entrepreneurship in their curriculum. How to overcome challenges in cultural entrepreneurship. The most obvious question asked by any cultural entrepreneur is, how do I stay true to my roots, but also appeal to modern audiences? Like a fashion designer using traditional textiles, the challenge is balancing heritage with contemporary trends. And they have mastered the art. We have seen Sabyasachi, we have seen Ritu Kumar, we have seen Rohit Bal, we have seen Anita Dongre. They all are using the old traditional fabrics of India. And we have seen Asma Hussain. There are so many designers that have done that. They are big designer houses. But the fact is that it should come down to the middle and lower level also. These are big designer houses. Their one dress costs in lakhs together, 20 lakhs, 25, 50 lakhs, even maybe in crores if they are making for celebrities. So this has not percolated to the bottom level. What is to be done? That has to be taken care of. Authenticity does not mean being stuck. It's about evolving, but staying rooted at the same time. Then access to resources and networks have to be there. Not unlike big businesses, these cultural ventures rarely get easy funding or big networks. If there is an independent filmmaker and he or she wants to make a documentary on indigenous art, he may struggle with money and contacts. The solution could be use crowdfunding, grants, and cultural networks to fill the gap. How to preserve tradition versus innovation. The balance has to be between the old and the new is very tricky, is very difficult. For example, a food entrepreneur reviving ancient recipes needs to keep tradition but also attract modern tastes. That's very true. But we have so many restaurants like that, which are very popular. If you go to Agra, there could be, there's Dasa Prakasha, which is a South Indian food chain. You get baked products over there, you get everything, but the way they serve their dosas and South Indian food is unmatchable. And you can see that, it is full of foreigners all the time at lunchtime and at dinner time. And they're enjoying their thalis with puris and different sabzis and just enjoying it. So the recipes are ancient. The way it is served is ancient, but it is served in modern setting with a touch of, culture. So creativity helps, like fusion food festivals or collaborations with contemporary chefs. Market perception, and we have stereotypes in our markets, in our minds. Cultural work is often seen as outdated, which may not be 100% reality today. A folk theatre group may be labeled old-fashioned. A Nukkar Natak team will be, will have a tough time getting audience. So the solution is strong branding, audience education, and unique experiences to change perceptions. Legal and intellectual property issues. These entrepreneurs have to protect their ideas while respecting cultural heritage. The example could be an artist making digital art inspired by ancient symbols. So instead of making it on canvas, on paper, they're making it digitally. So they need legal advice, proper documentation, and cultural institution support to safeguard their work. They may do it, but it has to be protected by law even. They have to know what is legally right. Then balancing passion and sustainability. That is, passion drives cultural work, but survival needs business sense. So passion and survival both have to exist at the same time. For example, a community theatre group, they have to manage both artistic quality and financial needs, like ticket sales and sponsorships. So if you just keep focusing on rehearsing and the the dialogues of the drama and the dialogue deliveries and the screenplay maybe, but you forget to sell your tickets and you forget to get sponsors, then it is not possible. So the success lies in mixing passion with planning. The preferences of the audiences are changing. The tastes change over time. The example could be a gallery owner in indigenous art must keep up with shifting trends and collector interest. The person has to stay updated through art fairs, research, and audience engagement. There's collaboration versus competition today. Cultural entrepreneurs often thrive by working together. For example, an Indian weaver and a Peruvian weaver could collaborate on a joint textile collection instead of competing with one another. Such partnerships will create innovation, bigger markets, and cultural celebration and bring in money also. Now, let us see this cultural entrepreneurship venture called Fab India, which all of us know about. We know that the Fab India products preserve traditional crafts, they showcase Indian artisan skills, and they transform fabrics into fashion and home products. We get all men, women clothing, we get household stuff, we get all the household linen and furnishings from there, and they are totally made on traditional fabrics of India. And this is how they are empowering rural artisans. They provide work for 55,000 plus artisans. And Fab India is a very popular and high class brand today that connects rural producers with urban markets. It also blends tradition and modernity because it bridges authentic craftsmanship with modern lifestyle. So I gave you the example of my, sling bag that you could get from Fab India. The fabric, the stitching pattern, all is old, but it is a sling bag, which is a very modern usage item. So, and it has it blends tradition and modernity, and then appeals to quality and heritage conscious consumers. Inclusive capitalism is when you give artisans a stake in the business initiative, like artisans microfinance, so they become profit partners also. There is community development by Fab India because they have invested in projects like Fab India School in Rajasthan, and they support education and artisan families. This is beyond profit. Authenticity and brand identity. The strong brand rooted in craftsmanship and empowerment. That's their unique selling point. They are trusted by consumers seeking cultural authenticity. When you get a product from Fab India, you can rest assured that the colors are not going to be fast, the colors are going to remain intact, the fabric is going to retain its shine, the fabric is not going to shrink, and it's going to be there. You can have a proud possession in your wardrobe or in your utility items. And of course, it has a global reach because they have expanded from exports to international retail, and that brings Indian culture to worldwide audiences. Zook is another cultural entrepreneurship venture which is promoting Indian craftsmanship. It celebrates and preserves India's rich cultural heritage and used on authentic handcrafted fabrics and modern accessories. Imagine having a laptop sleeve or a laptop bag which is entirely made up of Indian fabric. It looks so amazing, and it looks so classy when somebody carries that. All right, it is very expensive, but then these companies also have to think Zook is not a very expensive brand. Fab India is slightly expensive, but their products are of the highest quality and they're popular world over, and popular with all age groups, with children, with youngsters, with the senior ones also. You can find everyone, the whole family, into a Fab India or a Zook outlet. And it is modernizing heritage because it is bridging traditional artistry with contemporary functionality. It is making classic Indian aesthetics relevant for today's lifestyle. Office dresses, office kurtas, office pullovers, office jackets, office file covers, all are being made over here. And carrying them is such a pride when you carry such a file or carry a laptop bag or a laptop sleeve or a sling bag, and you have a goggle cover, from which you take out your goggles, sunglasses, or your glass cover, your eyeglass cover. They all look so ethnic. and they give you a very nice feeling that it belongs to you, it is your own country's product. And it is a feeling which cannot be, even as a customer, the feeling cannot be described when you are wearing and using such culturally rich craft items. And of course, the feeling is great when you see that buying from here means we are supporting our artisans. They have partners with over 1,000 artisans, and they provide stable employment and help preserve traditional skills. Their HR policies are very encouraging, and they're following ethical and sustainable practices. They use vegan and cruelty-free materials. They align with global demand for responsible and ethical products. This Zug cultural entrepreneur is a direct uh, D2C consumer model, which maintains control over brand and customer experience and ensures cultural narrative is communicated directly to consumers. You can see a product over here, bang over there. Then it's the storytelling and brand identity is also there. It builds a proudly Indian identity. I just told you, when you carry this stuff, you feel on top of the world. It is so classy, so useful, and it gives you a feeling that you have done something for your country by buying these brands. And it highlights the essence of India in design and production. There is innovation in design, like it integrates handcrafted fabrics into contemporary products like bags and footwear. We cannot forget the jutis, the nagaras that we find over there, and several other items that one may think of. It showcases Indian artistry in modern, market relevant ways. So, now coming to the end of this presentation, what is the conclusion? See, we studied about so many examples also. We studied about the examples of the countries like Korea and Thailand. We compared it with our country, India. What Korea and Thailand have did, they have completely capitalized upon their cultural identities and turned it into a profitable business venture, helped their country, which helped them coming out of the financial crisis that they were into by spreading their dramas, culture, food, cuisine, restaurants in every part of the world. They could, bring funding also from angel investors and from crowdfunding. India being such a great country, each state is a country in itself. We have rich heritage, but leave alone going beyond profit, we have not even utilized our potential to the full. We are talking about entrepreneurship, but we are very rarely talking about cultural entrepreneurship, which should be the most important segment of entrepreneurship, because it helps Indians and the entrepreneurs, the cultural entrepreneurs, they contribute in retaining the identity of India. It just does not preserve heritage, it fuels innovation. It strengthens social bonds. It is not just blending tradition with modern creativity, it has generated both cultural and economic value. So we have to look forward, we have to talk to the government, we have to write and talk about it, that with the right policies, investments, and collaborations, India has the power to transform communities and position nations like us as a global cultural leader. And I hope that it is actually done, and such policies and awareness programs are run, that not only entrepreneurs but cultural entrepreneurs predominate India in spreading the essence of India and Indian culture abroad, and making our products and services number one in the world, because we deserve to be there. With this, I come to the end of my presentation, and I am open to any question and answers. There's just few minutes left, but I'll be happy if you would like to ask questions, please. How many of you are here?
Yes, madam.
Any questions, please?
One question, madam.
Yes.
According to title of cultural entrepreneurship,
जी.
only is related to art and art products, or is also can be included or relate to with religious and other festival activities.
Oh, why not? Religion, I cannot say that religion is culture, but many cultural activities and products are associated with religious things also. So
Yes.
why not? It can be.
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam.
Okay. Any other question, please? So many of you are here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
कुछ पूछना चाहेंगी आप? कुछ कहना चाहेंगी? कुछ बताना चाहेंगी?
नहीं मैम, it was a really good presentation. Thank you so
आपको
much, ma'am.
कैसा लगा ये प्रेजेंटेशन? मतलब कुछ नया पता चला या कैसा लगा? कुछ तो बताइए.
कल्चरल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप ऐसा कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट है वो भी नहीं रजिस्टर हुआ था मैम. एनवायरमेंटल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वगैरह सुना हुआ था, बट दिस इज अ टर्म व्हिच आई केम अक्रॉस फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, सो इट वाज रियली इंटरेस्टिंग दैट it also can be there towards entrepreneurship. So it was really a very interesting session, ma'am.
देखिए हमारे चारों तरफ है कल्चरल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. आप अपने चारों तरफ देखेंगे, there will be so many boutiques that will be preparing, ladies suits, sarees and other items based on the local art and craft. All this is cultural entrepreneurship, but the thing is that it has not occurred in our mind at all.
ट्रू मैम, जो आपने बताया वो देखा है, किया है, पुट इट इनटू अ कॉन्सेप्ट, जो आपने बहुत ही खूबसूरती से बताया मैम.
थैंक यू सो मच. आई एम सो हैप्पी टू हियर दैट. और कोई कुछ नहीं पूछेगा? यहाँ तो बहुत सारे लोग हैं. मैसेज नहीं करें, खाली कुछ बोले भी.
मैडम ये प्रेजेंटेशन आपका बहुत अच्छा था, ये बहुत बढ़िया था. और वो ये मैं भी वो फर्स्ट टाइम सुना कल्चरल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. मैंने पहले जब सुना उसका नाम तो मुझ में ये सवाल आया, ये रिलेट कर पाएंगे कैसे? आपने जैसा उसको रिलेट किया, सचमुच ये पता चला कि ऐसा भी होता है, ये होना भी चाहिए.
अच्छा, तो आपको लगा था कि ये मिसमैच है, ये नहीं हो पाएगा?
हाँ हाँ, ऐसा भी कुछ. मैं आई वाज कंफ्यूज्ड हाउ यू कैन relate with each other. Cultural entrepreneurship is related to business, and you were very intended to relate with culture, how it is possible. Now I got it. It's interesting and it should be there.
Yes. आप देखिए ना, ये हमारे चारों तरफ होता है, मगर हमें पता नहीं ये है क्या और कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है.
जी जी जी. तो कुछ चीजें बाकी लोगों को भी बोर होंगे, सब प्रोफेसर्स हैं.
जी जी. और कोई कुछ बोले, कुछ पूछना, कुछ बताना, कोई ऑब्जर्वेशन?
जी मैम नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
मैम एक चीज पूछना था कि जैसे एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है कोऑपरेटिव एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप.
कोऑपरेटिव?
जी मैम.
हाँ हाँ.
तो मैम क्या कॉलेज में हम अपने बच्चों को थोड़ा इस तरह का कोई छोटा स्केल पे कुछ बता सकते हैं? कुछ इस तरह
मतलब
का
बताना या पढ़ाना एक अलग बात है.
नहीं पढ़ाते तो हम हैं ही. मैं एक्चुअली कॉमर्स में, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कॉमर्स में हूँ. तो थोड़ा सा ये था कि हम बहुत ही स्मॉल स्केल पे बच्चों को थोड़ा कोई एक आइडिया दे सकते हैं कि
आप ऐसे कर सकते हैं, जैसे आपके कॉलेज में जो बच्चे होंगे
जी मैम।
वो कभी कभी फेट या एग्जीबिशंस ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं।
जी मैम।
तो
जी
एग्जीबिशन ऑर्गेनाइज करिए और जितने भी लोकल क्राफ्ट्समैन हो, जो भी लोकल प्रोडक्ट्स हो, उनको बुलाइए और उनका प्रोडक्ट शोकेस कराइए और
जी
उसको
मैम।
एक सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी की तरह कर दीजिए। और ये कर दीजिए कि ये जो इसमें मतलब अगर थोड़े से एक्सपेंसिव भी रखेंगे प्रोडक्ट, मान लीजिए कोई
जी
चीज 100 रुपए की है बाजार में और आप उसको 125 की रखेंगे, तो आप ये कह सकते हैं कि ये 25 रुपए कॉलेज के बेनिफिट के लिए या नीडी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए यूज होंगे। So it can be a fundraiser kind of a thing, and this is how you can give it a small start.
ओके ओके, थैंक यू मैम, थैंक।
अच्छा मैडम, मैडम
जी
ये बहुत नया चीज़ है, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल नई चीज़ है। तो मैं ट्राई करूँगा। हाउ मच आई विल बी सक्सेस, इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन माय अप्रोच एंड प्रिपरेशन। आई वांट टू मेक ए presentation before my student, new thing before them। तो आप थोड़ा सजेस्ट कीजिए वो कैसे करना चाहिए। मैंने मेरा ईमेल आईडी आपको मैसेज में भेजा। अगर कोई रेफरेंस कुछ कुछ भी हेल्पफुल हो, आप थोड़ा मुझे शेयर करेंगे तो, या तो आप
देखिए,
थोड़ा।
मैं अपना ईमेल आईडी आपको दे रही हूँ।
हाँ जी
ठीक है, यहाँ पे लिख रही हूँ।
जी
आपको अगर ऐसा कुछ लगे तो आप मुझे ईमेल करिएगा,
जी
तो मैं आपसे फिर आपको जवाब दूंगी उस बात का। ठीक है,
ठीक है मैडम।
और स्टूडेंट्स को आप ये कॉन्सेप्ट पहले इंट्रोड्यूस करिए। अगर आप कुछ ऐसा टॉपिक पढ़ाते हैं, आप किसके सब्जेक्ट के हैं? आप
मैं अरबिक का हूँ एक्चुअली।
अरबिक के हैं।
मैं अरबिक का हूँ, अरबिक का हूँ। तो हमारा कॉलेज में बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, हर कोई हर सब्जेक्ट में। मैं अरबिक का हूँ, लेकिन इकोनॉमिक्स का कुछ भी एक टॉपिक मैं
जी
प्रेजेंट
जी।
कर लेता हूँ कभी कभी। वो ऐसा होता है मल्टीपल
तो देखिए, आप
प्रेजेंटेशन।
अरबिक पढ़ाते हैं, कहाँ पे हैं, कहाँ पे पोस्टेड हैं आप?
मैं वेस्ट सिलचर कॉलेज,
हाँ,
बोरजत्रापुर, ये काचार डिस्ट्रिक्ट है सिलचर का।
अच्छा। तो
मैं
आप
मैं
देखिए, बिकॉज यू टीच अरबिक, सो इन इस्लाम तिजारत हैज ऑलवेज बीन द एडवाइज्ड वे,
यस यस
है ना? तो आप उसको
यस
उससे लिंक कीजिए कि
जी
जो तिजारत हुआ करती थी वो कैसे होती थी, किन प्रोडक्ट्स की होती थी। एक तो वो आइटम्स होते हैं जो यूटिलिटी होते हैं, और एक आर्ट तो हमेशा से रही है। तो
जी
आप उसके बारे में बात कर सकते हैं और उसको आज के जो प्रेजेंट कंटेम्प्रेरी सिनेरियो है उससे रिलेट कर सकते हैं कि तिजारत, हाउ इट स्टार्टेड ओवर देयर एंड देन हाउ इज इट राइट नाउ।
जी जी एथिक्स था उसमें, एथिक्स था, प्रॉफिट कम था, ऐसे बहुत सारी बातें हैं
देखिए,
उसमें।
अगर आप अभी दोबारा हम आपको कहेंगे, इफ यू गो ऑन द इंटरनेट, देयर आर सो मेनी इस्लामिक इस्लामिक आइटम साइट जहाँ पे आपको कैलीग्राफी के डेकोर, और आप आजकल एक नया ट्रेंड चला है मेकिंग अ नमाज कॉर्नर एट होम, तो उसका डेकोर कैसा होना चाहिए विद आर्चेस एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स। कैलीग्राफी के कितने फॉर्म्स हैं, नॉट जस्ट पेंटिंग बट मेटालिक कैलीग्राफी ऑल्सो, मेटल्स में कार्व करना, वुड में कार्व करना, एम्ब्रॉयडरी की तरह कार्व करना। तो आप इनके बारे में भी बात कर सकते हैं। देयर आर सो मेनी साइट्स लाइक दिस। One of my friends, she has started a site. She lives in Lucknow. She was a very famous journalist before, and now she started a site जहाँ पे वो निकाह नामे को, जो पुराने निकाह नामे हैं उनको डिजिटाइज कर देते हैं। अगर उस जमाने में जिन्होंने साइन किया था वो अब तक जिंदा हैं, तो उनके दोबारा से साइन करा के वो एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल तरीके से निकाह नामे को बनाती हैं। तो देखिए, दिस इज ऑल्सो एन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, है
जी
ना?
जी जी
और
जी
इससे रिलेटेड जितनी भी चीजें होती हैं उसको कैसे लिखा जाए, कैसे डेकोरेटिव बनाया जाए, वो सब करती हैं।
जी जी
तो मैं अभी साइट का नाम मुझे ध्यान नहीं आ रहा है, मैं आप मुझे ईमेल करेंगे तो मैं
कैलीग्राफी,
आपको,
जी
सो यू कैन लिंक इट लाइक दैट।
कैलीग्राफी का एक पेपर भी है हमारे स्टूडेंट के लिए। उसमें थोड़ा बहुत ढूंढता हूँ मैं भी। तो उसमें लेकिन वो सीखने के लिए वो कैलीग्राफी कितने तरफ की होते हैं, वो दिखाने के लिए आप जो आइडिया दे रही हो कि उसको एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में भी तब्दील किया जा सकता है, या तो एंटरप्रेन्योर इन व्यू ऑफ
अब
एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप भी।
आपके अगर बच्चे कैलीग्राफी सीखते हैं और
जी,
उनमें
जी।
से कई बच्चे बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, तो वो इन
जी।
बड़े डिजाइनर्स या सेलर्स से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं और
हाँ,
उनकी
ये
बनाई हुई चीजें वो उधर जा सकती हैं।
हाँ, तब वो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप हो गया।
जी हाँ,
ठीक, ठीक। थैंक यू मैडम।
थैंक यू।
Thank you, ma'am. Really, it was an interesting session. Especially the topic is also new for me, and you have related with international market, international entrepreneurship. Especially, you have mentioned about how Korea became successful. So, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you all. Is anybody from MMTC over here? Can I take leave? It's past 2 now, 2 minutes past 2. I think I will take your leave. It's already 2, so session is over. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
madam. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
madam.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am.
Thank you.